I would have never thought that a company could do a person the way that Camping World has done me and the many others that I have been in communication with. It's just beyond me. It's not right. It has broken my heart.
How long is this going to hurt you for?
For a good long time.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to today's video. Now, what you just saw, that was real. That was Faith. Faith is hurt. She is emotional. She is angry. And yes, she feels betrayed. And you're going to hear in the next few minutes, she's got every reason to be that and then some. You see, back in January of 2024, Faith bought a brand new Keystone Springdale travel trailer from Camping World in Sherwood, Arkansas. She put $3,000 down, had good credit, and just wanted what she paid for. But instead, she got a water-damaged RV, broken promises, lies, and a wrecked credit report. And the worst part? We got the voicemail. We do. The voicemail from the general manager himself promising to fix it. But as you're about to hear, that promise, well, it was just the beginning of a very long nightmare. Now listen, Faith's internet connection wasn't the best during our interview, but her story, it is solid, I'm telling you. And frankly, it is the kind of story that the powers that be at Camping World, I believe, ought to be ashamed of. So as you listen, let me know what you think. Do you think she did the right thing? Would you have handled things differently? Drop a comment below if you would. I read every single one of them. All right, Faith, before we get into exactly what happened and your nightmare that you are experiencing, kind of set the stage, if you will, a little bit, the emotional stage. Why did you buy this RV to begin with? What was your intent on buying it? What were your hopes and dreams back in January of 24?
Well, I had intended to buy one for later in life. My family are all campers. I've got grown kids and a bunch of kids. And so I intended to buy one at one point later on, but a need arose at that particular time. And I thought, well, may as well do it. Let's just go ahead and do it. And eventually, in the end, the need did not get met. But that was the whole reason for me buying it at that time. I was going to buy it later, anyway. So, but
you thought the time was good, and you just thought the timing was right. All right. So, if you would take me to the day when you picked it up. It's pickup day. A year and a half ago, almost.
Right.
Tell me about your walkthrough. What was your vibe like? What was your relationship with Camping World like? The people there. Just kind of take me back through it, just kind of high level.
Well, I had an appointment. I made an appointment for between 4:30 and 4:45, and I got there at 4:45. And my salesperson had told me, we'll be ready for you right then, and I was there on time.
Hang on just a second, Faith. Did they make the appointment for 4:45? Or I mean, late in the afternoon?
My salesperson was texting me and asking me, when are you going to be here? And so I said, listen, I'm going to be there between 4:30, about 4:30, 4:45. Okay. I had worked all day long. I was just getting off work at 4. And so I went straight there.
The reason I asked the question is that's one just right out of the gate. Going in late in the afternoon after your work, you're tired, they're ready to go home. You don't get a whole lot of love. You don't get nearly the attention as if you would have gone early in the day. So my hope is by people watching this, they're going to learn some of the things that have been.
Don't go late in the day.
Yeah, don't go late in the day. All right. No. So how did it go? How much inspection were you able to do, and how did they go over everything to make sure it was all working properly?
Well, it was really, they have a routine over there. I got there on time, and yes, my salesperson was there ready for me. Mm-hmm. But they had me search the entire store. They had to give me a tour of the whole retail portion of the store, and tell me all the things that I needed to buy for the RV. And then we had to do an inspection again And that was a kind of a long, drawn out thing. We found a couple of things wrong, and they went and grabbed stuff from the retail store and made a couple of really fast repairs, while we were there. And then I was told that the finance person had someone else ahead of me, even though I had
You're talking late in quitting time.
I'm talking about the store closed. The whole dealership closed while I was waiting. Eventually, and I'm exhausted at this point. I was up since 5:30 in the morning. I'm exhausted. I'm tired, but I finally left with the RV at 9:30 p.m.
9:30. All right. Before you left, did they show you that? Look, the air conditioner is working properly. The plumbing. Did they show you how the tanks worked and everything was holding water properly? The slide out. Every single. Did they show you everything, or did they just kind of go quickly over it and ask you?
Absolutely not, because the unit had been winterized. It was January, and in Arkansas, it's cold.
Right.
And so it had been winterized, so we get to see all of that. But they're good at what they do. They're good at these inspection visits.
And what I think you're saying, they're good at getting you out the door. Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying.
All right. So it was a Springdale. MSRP was somewhere between 40 and 50 grand,
Yes.
I think. And so you put just trying to keep don't get too deep into the weeds on this thing so people can follow. You put $3,000 down. Your credit was good. Everything was great. You hitched up. What were your thoughts when you left at 9:30 at night from Camping World? Were you optimistic? Were you did you have some reservations? Or
listen, I was so worn out with that experience that I really didn't know what to feel that night. But the next morning, I did not feel great about it.
Mm-hmm.
I just had kind of a bad feeling, and I always trust my gut. I mean, I've been around the block a few times, and I kind of know what that means. But like I said, I had a need for it at the time, and I thought, well, I'm going to see, let's see what happens. And then sure enough, we found the issue, and it all went downhill from there.
How soon after it arrived, I guess, went in your driveway, did you discover the problem, and what was the glaring biggest issue that you discovered?
The very next morning, out there, kind of looking around, seeing what I needed to do to get set up, and was sitting on the floor. And I noticed a spot underneath the cabinet door, the kitchen cabinet door, and pulled that cabinet door open, and I didn't really see anything when I opened the cabinet door. When I stuck my head inside of it, everything, it was clear. Everything had been wet. The wood was swollen and cracking, and that had seeped out underneath the cabinet door, which of course during a walkthrough, nobody's going to see that.
So you didn't, I don't think many people do, open the cabinets and stick their head inside and look up and down and all around.
No, we opened the cabinet doors, but I didn't stick my head in there,
Okay, so you got water damage. Yeah. Obviously, a light bulb went on,
just a problem.
Flashing lights. What did you do? And tell me, because that's really the beginning of what I see as a long, unnecessary nightmare that they put you through.
Absolutely. I immediately called my salesperson and told him, listen, I found water damage in this unit. I bought it brand new. I'm not accepting it. I want it replaced. And I wasn't trying to get out of anything. I just said, listen, I want a unit that does not have water damage. It's brand new. It's an RV. I have a construction background. I'm familiar with how water damage works, and I didn't want anything to do with it.
Right. Okay, so what did they do? I mean, that turned into, without, like I said, I don't want to go too deep into this thing, but it's the blame placing and the excuse making. This is my words. They point the blame and poke fingers at everybody else except themselves.
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
They make a bad dealer will make promises and then deny that they either made them or you misunderstood the promises.
Exactly.
And so you got $3,000 down, which is not a little bit of money. You know,
It's not a huge amount, but I mean,
yeah,
it's enough.
But so you've got a loan now on this RV that is a water damaged RV, and
Yes.
you're into it $3,000, and now you want to just give me one that doesn't leak, right?
Give me what I bought. Give me what I bought and pay. Yeah, what I'm paying for.
Okay, and they said no problem, or what happened?
No, they said absolutely not. From my salesperson, I got passed off to management, and eventually I got to speak with the GM over there, and he really pressed hard. It got a script that they present to people when something like this happens, and he read it perfectly. But he tried really hard to convince me that I should just bring it back and let them repair it. And I just kept in the back of my mind thinking, there's something wrong. This is not right. But he pressed hard enough, and I had already spoken. During this course of time, I had contacted the corporate office and said, hey, listen, I'm not keeping this. I demand that you replace the RV with a new one, which is what I purchased.
And this is right after you purchased it. I mean, it's
right after I purchased it. Yes.
Okay. All right. And what did they say?
I told GM that I would allow him one opportunity to repair it, but this is what I wanted repaired. And I told him exactly what needed to be replaced.
Yeah.
And that I wanted to inspect it. And that never happened. They jerked me around for weeks and weeks, never scheduling anything. So finally I said, listen, I'm going back to my original demand. I want the thing replaced. I'm not messing with you. I'm bringing it back. And I scheduled a date and told them what day I was bringing it back. And I did exactly that. I returned it that particular day, February 2nd or 3rd, I believe. I believe it's the 3rd. And I was met with, and I told them, I want my money back. I want you to pay back the loan, give the money back to the bank. I want out of this. I don't want any more.
Okay, hang on. But between January, when you took possession, and early April, did you have possession the whole time, or did you ever take it back to them for them to make an attempt to repair?
No, they wouldn't. I couldn't even get them to schedule a time to get the thing in there for repair.
Okay,
they were supposed to. The GM had told me during our conversation, I will come pick it up, I will repair it, and I will return it to your driveway. And that never happened. It never happened.
Okay, so you got frustrated after 3 months. You're making payments on something you can't use because of the water damage. And so you show up at Camping World. What did they do at that point?
They refused to give me my down payment back. They told me that the only option I had was to reselect another unit. They did give me the option to replace it with another one just like it, but it would have to come from another state. And by that time, excuse me, by that time I had learned enough to know that I should not trust that, because I would probably be getting back the same unit, or they would probably try something like that.
Yeah.
I don't mean to say that, but I had read enough online.
So the level of trust that you put in Camping World is now just eroded to nothing.
Zero. And so I did reselect a new unit that day. 2024 Heartland Pioneer, I believe is what it was.
Mm-hmm.
And it did not have the second AC unit on it at the time. And there were a couple of other issues that needed to be taken care of. And the general sales manager there at the time told me, and he's who I spoke with and dealt with, and said that I would hear from him. I asked him when I could, get it, pick it up, because I needed it. He told me by Wednesday, which would have been 5 days later. No, 4 days later. And none of that ever happened. I never got the replacement RV.
Okay. And just a little bit of good news. I think you're probably, in retrospect, it would have been like jumping from the frying pan into the fire.
Absolutely. Much better off.
All right. So But the good news is, at some point, because by the way, you are a really good storyteller and gave me a lot of details. But to sum it up, you finally got their attention enough to where the general manager of Camping World had left you a voicemail message.
Yes, sir.
And essentially, what did that voicemail message say? Because you wrote this in your email, and I'm thinking, I don't know if I believe this lady. I'm just telling you, when you first said it,
I know. It's pretty amazing. It was from the GM, and the RV had already been in their possession for almost a month and a half.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing had been done. And so I got this voicemail while I was working one day, and it said, he said his name and whatever, and he said, just letting you know, we're going to go ahead and pay off that RV, and you will be loan free. Just letting you know. Call me back if you have any questions.
So they're going to make your worries go away. They're going to pay off the loan, take the RV back, and
right.
And
I had previously been told that that they were going to give me my down payment back, of course. But
okay, so when you told me this, just so you know, when you told me this in an email, I'm thinking, I don't know if I've just got to tell you, I'm a skeptic. And then, folks, hold on, folks. You're going to hear something. It's really short. But I said, Faith, I want to believe you, but please prove it to me. So here is the voicemail. I'm going to go ahead and play the voicemail right now if I can push the right button.
Absolutely.
And let everybody hear the voicemail that came from the general manager there at Camping World.
Sure.
Hi, Faith. It's Roger Williams up here in Sherwood at Camping World. A little change of venue. I just want to let you know they're not canceling your loan with the bank. We're actually paying it off. We're paying the loan off, and as soon as that happens, I'll let you know. But I wanted you to keep you updated so you knew, because in the past we were talking about canceling a loan. That couldn't happen for whatever reason, but we can pay it off. So you will be loan free. I just want to let you know that. If you have any questions, just holler at me, and I'll let you know as soon as that happens. Thanks.
Okay, before you speak, Faith, folks, that was the general manager of the location where Faith bought the RV.
Yes.
What do you think that she should have thought? If you believe that, well, she's just making this stuff up. Did she make up that phone call? Doesn't sound like a made up phone call to me. What? And so, but that didn't happen, did it?
It did not.
What happened?
A few days later, they changed their tune and decided that instead of just, paying back the loan and giving me my money back, that they were going to need me to assess and register the RV with the state, pay the taxes on it and all that, and take them the paperwork so that they could buy it back from me. And the only way that deal was going to go through is that I was going to have to sign some paperwork, another contract agreement, and what do they call it? NDA, non-disclosure. And I know that's pretty common practice in legal issues, but this paperwork was some kind of shady, and I wouldn't do it. And so then began the battle that I am still in. I mean,
so what? You seem like a direct woman who is. You didn't just fall off the turnip truck, as they say.
No, sir.
You can smell BS. As we get older, we can smell BS, and you don't want to smell it. You don't. I don't think
it stinks.
But it does stink, especially when you get a message from the general manager that says, "Hey, we're going to take care of this."
Yes.
You have that. You want to believe in them, but then they betray you. But it got even worse.
Yes.
And so they've got the camper now. I mean, at that point, they had the camper. You said, I ain't doing this. You guys can have it. Just pay it off and give me my money back, my $3,000, and we'll call it even.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes, absolutely. And the entire time I had been in communication with the bank because I knew the deal was going to go bad. And the entire time the bank was telling me, point blank, all they have to do is pay the loan back. They don't have to do anything else. Just pay the loan back, and you'll be in the clear with us. And then, of course, I would have to deal with them for getting my down payment back. But Camping World could have paid the bank back at any time from day one, and they did not.
What did they do?
They drug it out to the point where they sent me all this paperwork that they were going to need me to sign, along with assessing and registering an RV that I had not had in my possession for months. And I just got really, really weary. I thought, if I do this, it'll be done and over with, and I can get out of it.
Right.
But I got really weary about the fact that, they've already screwed me this bad. What happens if I sign this, if I do this? And I got really scared. So I hired an attorney for the simple purpose of advising me and helping me to, look at this paperwork. Tell me if I'm doing something wrong. What do I need to do?
Right.
And they communicated with them, with their national customer service director a couple of times. And this guy kept telling this lawyer, I understand. We're going to go ahead and change this paper. I mean, the paperwork was really shady. The numbers in it were wrong, and there were words that they would not fix, would not change, that needed to be changed. It was going to be a bad deal for me.
So let me. I'm not trying to interrupt, but
no, go ahead.
It seems to me that they take your money. They're nice. They take your money, and then they ghost you. And then they come up with, well, now all you need to do is this and this and this and this other thing. And then the manager says, no, we're going to take care of this. But they don't take care of it. Right. In the meantime, you have a loan and you have to make payments on this thing that you cannot use. And months and months and months go by. And
that's right.
Did you make payments, or did you just say,
I did not. I stayed in communication with the bank, and I told them up front, listen, I don't have this. I have returned it. The dealership took it back. They took possession of it. I don't have it. They're supposed to be paying, they told me they were going to pay the loan back. So I'm not going to make the payments, and I'm doing everything I can to make sure that the dealership takes care of you, the bank. And of course, everything I could was not enough. Okay. They didn't do it.
And so what ended up happening is, because you didn't make the payments, they not only destroyed your credit by you not making the payments because you thought that they were going to take care of this, but now you have a repossession on your credit. So your credit is now destroyed, and you've lost $3,000. And did the lawyer work for free? The one that you had?
He did not. He did not. It cost me. Yeah, it cost me for that. And they ended up, their national customer service director buffaloed him long enough that they were able to have it repossessed while we were in negotiations to try to get this paperwork straightened out.
Okay, hang on just a second. I'm going to play that phone call again. Folks, so this is the phone call that Faith got from the general manager of the Camping World. What would you think if Camping World called you, the general manager, and said this to you? And come on, Wingman. Play.
Hi, Faith. It's Roger Williams up here in Sherwood at Camping World. A little change of venue. I just want to let you know they're not canceling your loan with the bank. We're actually paying it off. We're paying the loan off, and as soon as that happens, I'll let you know. But I wanted you to keep you updated so you knew, because in the past we were talking about canceling a loan. That couldn't happen for whatever reason, but we can pay it off. So you will be loan free. I just want to let you know that. If you have any questions, just holler at me, and I'll let you know as soon as that happens. Thanks.
Okay, so what did Roger do when you called him up and you said, I know that you had to call him back. Hey, Roger, what happened? Where is Roger today?
Roger is no longer at that location, as far as I can tell. And I did not have much in fact, I didn't have any communication with him after their national customer care director got involved, no one else would communicate with me. And, you know, I would assume that I can't assume anything. I'm not going to assume anything.
Yeah.
All I know is that in the end, while they were leading me to believe that they were going to take care of it, Camping World had requested from the bank. This came directly from the bank. Requested that the bank go ahead and repossess it. Told them that I had abandoned it and refused to pick it up. And the thing this is not funny at all, because it totally trashed my credit. But the funny thing is that they had already accepted it as a return, never took care of me, but it was in their possession, and they had it repossessed from themselves
And
in my name.
What gets me is, because I asked you, before we recorded, what do you want? What do you, and what you want is just to have your credit restored and give me my $3,000 back and just leave me alone and get on with my life. And when Camping World can't do that because of their mess up in selling an RV that was clearly, it seems to me, clearly a defective unit, should not have been sold, probably a COVID build sitting on the lot for a long time. And they got some sucker to buy it, hoping that you would just accept it and move along like many other people do.
Right.
They screwed up, and all you want is your money back, $3,000, and they got the RV back anyway. I'm sure they resold it. I would, yes, or do you know?
Oh, when it was sold at auction through the bank, it was sold for $30,000. Camping World got to keep that $30,000.
So they never paid off your loan at all.
They never paid off the loan. In fact, there's still a $10,000 balance due at the loan at the bank in my name.
Okay, I want to get your advice and for other people that might be thinking about buying at Camping World. But first off, I want to address the credit thing. Have you reported this to your credit bureau? And you have.
Yes.
And so, and you disputed the charge, the claim, everything.
Yes, but Camping World came back and the bank both came back and said this is a valid debt. And so, but here's something interesting, and I don't know if the bank, since I started including the bank on my communication with Camping World and made it very clear exactly what took place, I have not heard a single word from the bank. They were aggressively pursuing me for that $10,000 balance. I have not heard one single word from the bank.
Is this your bank, or was this a Camping World?
No, this is a Camping World bank.
Okay.
And that tells me that the bank knows.
I wish there was something I could say to make the pain go away and make this thing, disappear. But it's all too common that people put their faith and trust in the largest RV dealer in the nation, that big American flag outside.
Yeah.
They put all that trust in it. And then this happens to them or something like this. And they're okay with it. That's what bothers me, is that the people that do this, they're okay. She should have known better. Really? Hang on. She should have known better, but you shouldn't have known that you were selling a defective camper that had obvious water damage to it. Now, so what advice do you have for others that are thinking about buying from Camping World? And I'm not asking you to trash them. I mean, you seem very reasonable, much more so than I would be. But what do people, and before we do that, what if Marcus Lemonis was watching right now? What would you like him to know?
Sorry, that was my dog. Listen, my advice as far as anyone, looking to purchase an RV, if you don't have a real good experience with it, if you're not a full-time RVer and have been for a long time, I would not walk in to any dealership, especially a Camping World, without an independent inspector, and I would take an attorney with me, because that's where, in my experience, and I have read my contract word for word, And this thing was written with the intent of locking people in. And it's
not written for you. It's not written for the
absolutely not. And business is business, and people, people are people. But I worked for a very large corporation for a lot of years, and I'm gonna tell you, the man that owned that business, it was his lifetime business. If I walked into his office one day and said, "Sir, these people got done wrong. They're not happy, and this is what happened. We were in the wrong." I mean, immediately this man would make it right. He would make it more than right.
Yeah.
This does not happen at Camping World. That's not a Camping World thing.
No.
Marcus Lemonis cares about one thing and one thing only, and that is money. And he has this team of attorneys and this team of staff, administrators and people in his offices who have been trained to
but
do
hey, Faith, if you're not happy, he's not happy. I mean, don't you know?
Yeah, Will. I guarantee you he's happy right now because he walked away with $30,000 from the bank in my name for nothing. For nothing. For nothing.
And to find an attorney, and that's the other thing, people, I hate saying this, it's so difficult on me when I meet people like you that all you wanted was a flipping camper that you could use. You didn't want all this that goes with it. You didn't mind paying for it. You didn't mind maintaining it. You didn't that's what you bought.
Yes.
But then all of a sudden the booby prize is all the stuff that you have been having to go through. So
yeah,
I don't know. It's as long as that American flag flies out there and people just don't know very much, who was it? Rush Limbaugh used to call them low information voters.
Right.
And low information voters go, oh, really? Oh, they don't even know they're low information voters. Low information RV buyers, they make lots of mistakes. And so I'm sure you would never do what you did last time. You would never go at the end of the day.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Well, is there anything that you would like to add or ask me, or I don't know, remind anybody of or anything, or, I think we pretty well covered it.
Yeah. Honestly, I would just say that this experience, I've been on the earth a minute. Okay. Been around the block several times. Pretty knowledgeable, pretty intelligent. I would have never thought that a company could do a person the way that Camping World has done me and the many others that I have been in communication with. It's just beyond me to think about what they've actually done and what it has actually cost me. It's not fair. It's not right. It has broken my heart as an older American woman.
How long is this going to hurt you for, Faith?
For a good long time. Mostly because I fell for it. And secondly, because I worked a very long time and I worked very hard to get my credit where it was. Just me by myself. Did that on my own. And all of a sudden, because I decided to walk into Camping World, it's ruined. And this late in my life, I don't have a whole lot of time to fix it. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I am so sorry, and I'm hopeful, as you know, I let you know before we did this recording, I'm hopeful that people will listen to stories like yours with an open mind, because the information is out there. I just believe that buyers go in, I'm not blaming them. It's just, there's a mindset of, I have this fantasy and I'm going to, they're going to take care of me. It's like buying a new truck. They're going to be nice. To look, wow, American flag. And it's just not that way for many people.
It's not that way. Not that way at all.
So what do you think? They took her money. They took her camper. They took her credit. And somehow Camping World still walks away clean as a whistle. Unreal, right? And that voicemail that you heard, the one where the general manager promised to pay off her RV, well, evidently it meant absolutely nothing. So today, Faith is stuck with a wrecked credit report, a $10,000 balance on something she believes she doesn't owe. I don't believe it either. And that's after she paid a lawyer to try and make it right, just to try to get out of her RV nightmare, a nightmare that she should have never been in the first place. If this story makes you mad, well, good. I hope it makes you mad. It should, because Faith is not the only one, not by a long shot. If you hung in here till the end, a special thanks to you. I mean it. I know it was painful. I do, but I appreciate you being a part of this virtual campfire and supporting those who support this channel. Again, thank you so much for watching. I'm Alan Warren, the RV Wingman, reminding you to be safe, have fun, play nice, and don't leave your good manners at home. I'll see you in the next video.